Hello, everyone. It's your boy Knikaveli King, and you on Real Talk with Nick. And I'm here today because I would like to express my opinion on what I think was a disgrace at the Kennedy Center when we speak of the altercation between me and basketball street legend, Mr. Joe Hammond. And before I get into that, man, I'm going to like to give a shout out to Kevin Williams and Sam Worthing. Yeah. Shout out to them, man, for showing love and giving me the inside scoop when we speak of the game of basketball, man. But back to Joe. Joe Hammond tried to rush me at the Kennedy Center. And I don't know why. I'm just as confused as the viewers watching, but I have an idea why he's acting like this. And I'm going to address it because it needs to be addressed. First of all, I would like to say that, Mr. Joe Hammond, I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you nada. I did an interview with you 3 years ago. The video received over 20,000 views. It's still up, by the way. It's on my former channel, which I'm locked out of, called Knikaveli TV. I don't even have access to the channel, y'all. So I'm not making any money off the interview I did with Joe Hammond. But Joe Hammond seems to think so because he's looking at the views. And even if I was making money off of that interview, Mr. Joe Hammond, I don't owe you anything. I paid you $100 to do the interview. That's right, y'all. It only cost me $100 to do an interview with Joe Hammond. He wanted $300, but I told him I ain't have $300. I'll give him $100. He took the money. We went by where he lived at, and we did the interview. It was no problem. After the interview, which I will leave the link in the description box, Mr. Joe Hammond says, "Oh, man, that was great, man. We got to do it again. But I'm going to need a little bit more than $100. I said, "Fine. How much are you talking about?" This time, he said $300. No problem. $300 it is, Joe. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get Joe Hammond on my content because I'm trying to build my channel at the time. Okay, grant that. Interview take place. It receives thousands and thousands of views, right? Next time I see Joe, Joe went from $300 to $3,000 for an interview. I said, "Joe, you bugging. I'm not giving you $3,000 to do an interview with you." "Oh, you YouTubers," this is Joe, y'all. "You YouTubers, y'all out here making money off my content and y'all not paying me anything." Joe, we did the interview, which was epic, by the way. I didn't trick you into doing the interview. You knew exactly what you was doing. I ain't tied you up. We did the fucking interview, man. The interview was an epic interview. You explained your life story and you told me your regrets. And one of your regrets was that you should have went into the NBA and left street hustling alone. You wish you didn't choose the street life over the NBA. You expressed that. And the video is out where the viewers can hear it for themselves. I believe that's why you're bitter today, Mr. Joe Hammond. You're bitter because you feel you should have more funding coming your way. I don't know what it is, man. And you know what? You're right. But that's the lifestyle you chose, Mr. Joe Hammond. You could have went in the NBA. You turned them down. You say you was making $200,000 a week and that the NBA wasn't paying you that much. So why would you go and play in the CBA when you making more money hustling in Harlem? Those was your words, man. This is public information, man, by the way. I ain't pulling no rabbit tricks out the hat, man. I'm calling it for what it is. Why are you mad at Nick? When all I'm doing is showing love to you, man. And once upon a time, you reciprocated that love and you was showing love back to me. Now all of a sudden, you letting these YouTube views come between us, man. I ain't do anything wrong to you, man. And I feel hurt by the way you acted at the Kennedy Center. You got the right, Mr. Joe Hammond, to say, I don't want to do an interview with you, Nick. I've been turned down from doing interviews. Earl the Pearl turned me down from doing an interview. Then I seen Earl the Pearl again, and he did a drop for me. So after Earl the Pearl Monroe said, no, I'm not going to do an interview with you, he saw how I was determined, and he did a drop in, make sure you subscribe to Knikaveli TV. And guess what, Mr. Joe Hammond? Earl the Pearl ain't charged me a dime to do that. Joe Hammond, I interviewed Kevin Williams. And by the way, Mr. Joe Hammond, I met you first before I met Kevin Williams. Which goes to show that Nick been on this grind for a long time, y'all. Okay? But shout out to Kev for spreading the love and elevating my new channel. But I know that I'm putting in the work as well. I'm walking in and out of Harlem, day in, day out, giving y'all daily content to talk about Knick basketball. And although I might not be the knowledgeable person when it comes to Knick basketball or sports in particular, I had a vision. Yeah, because I was a Knick fan who got tired of hearing people trash the Knicks and act as if they didn't accomplish anything when we speak of the NBA. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a channel for Knick fans because we got the biggest fan base. We the most loyal fans there is. So let me make a channel based on that. And people were saying, yo, man, who you need to get is Joe Hammond. Joe's the man. I've been hearing this shit all the time about Joe Hammond. So I said, I got to find Joe, man. And it wasn't easy, man. It wasn't easy. I'm asking old timers, have you heard of Joe? Do you know where he be at? And the word is, you'll be at the Kennedy Center. So I met Mr. Joe Hammond at the Kennedy Center. And we spoke. And he said, man, listen, man, I'm going to do the interview with you. Give me the 100. We're going to make it happen. It happened. It was an epic video. Joe Hammond welcomed me with open arms, man. I was your boy then, Joe. Until you seen them YouTube videos. And you seen the views. And by the way, the view count for the video I did with Joe Hammond is that of 20,000. It was a lot at that time, but now that I'm doing what I'm doing now, that's nothing. That's 20,000 views within 3 years. Let's talk about it. So now, Joe Hammond's mad at me. And I didn't know it was going to get this far. Because Joe let it be known one day when he seen me on 125th. He asked me a question. I didn't know where it was leading up to. He says, Nick, how many subscribers do you have to make money off of YouTube? I said about 1,000. He said, how many views do you need? I said, views? Well, I can't answer that question because I don't know how many views, but I know how many subscribers. But then I retracted my statement and I told Joe Hammond that it's based on subscribers and how many watch time hours your YouTube channel is receiving, which makes it possible for you to place ads and monetize your channel and start receiving money. So I told him you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. Once I told Joe that, he did the flip-flop on Nick. Joe Hammond says to me, that explains it. See, you YouTubers. I'm like, you YouTubers? What are you talking about, Joe? He said, oh, you gave me $100, which, by the way, you agreed upon, Joe. And you got thousands of views, and all you YouTubers, y'all making money off my content. And my lawyer told me I could be getting paid, and I'm coming for all y'all. So I'm letting you know, Nick, I'm coming for you. When I see your content, me and my lawyers come to get some money and collect them coins. That's what he say to me. Right on 125th. And I'm looking at Joe like, yo, where's this shit coming from, man? You agreed to do the interview for a yard, $100. Once you receive the money and the content is up, that's it. I don't owe you jack. Nothing. Now, let me say this to you, Joe, because I got mad love for you, man. I think you out of touch with what's going on when we speak of social media today, man. The youth don't know who you are, Joe Hammond. They don't know. Shit, somebody had to put me on about you. As a little kid, my father was telling me about the GOAT and all these epic street legend basketball players. And your name was mentioned as a little kid, but I ain't know nothing about no Joe Hammond. I had to do my homework. And that's why that video was so epic that me and you did, Joe, because I took the time out to read about your story. I just didn't want to, I want to be in tune with you, man. Yeah, I asked you questions during that interview, Mr. Joe Hammond. You didn't even think I knew, based on my age. Come on, I'm only 50 years old, Joe. So at the time you was out there playing, my mama was calling me up when the street lights was on, man. If I was even allowed to go out at that time. So I was a youngster. Now I'm all grown, Joe. And Mr. Joe Hammond, what I'm trying to do is spread love out through Harlem and interview street basketball players so they could talk about their life, and not only talk about their life, talk about the New York Knicks. That's what my channel's based upon. And for you to disrespect me after Kevin Williams showed me love to come out to the Kennedy Center, which, by the way, Joe, you already gave me the green light to come there. Remember, Joe? You told me the Kennedy Center is your house. And Nick, you always welcome. You my man. And you letting YouTube views become between me and you. I ain't got no issues with you. I ain't got no problems with you. It's an honor just to be in your company, Joe. That's how much respect and admiration I have for you. And all this is being thrown away because of 20,000 views on YouTube, and you feel I'm making a whole lot of money. Well, let me say this to you, Joe. If this makes you feel a whole lot of better, or forgive me, a little bit better, I'm locked out of my old channel called Knikaveli TV. I changed my number and forgot to put it in the YouTube system, so I can't even monetize the video. I'm not getting a dime off of that. And even if I was, Joe, I have the right to do so. It's my content. Joe, you sued Nike and you sued Foot Locker because they used your image without your permission. You got the right to do that. That was your image they took without asking your permission. So yes, you could take them to court, which you did, and I think you received, what, $5 million off of that? Not to be pocket watching, but you know, you did what you had to do, and rightfully so. If something is taken from you, you rightfully go for after what is yours. But this is not the case. This is Nick's channel. Which means anything that's on Nick's channel is owed to Nick. I don't owe nobody nothing, man. Ain't nobody walking up and down Harlem but me. I'm putting in the work, man. I'm doing that. You going around Kennedy Center and you telling other NBA players like Sam Worthing not to do an interview with me, man. When Kevin Williams is showing love, I mean, the love that Kevin Williams is showing me is the love you was once showing me, Joe Hammond. So for the viewers who puzzle on, damn, how did that come about, you and Joe Hammond having an altercation? It's because me and Joe Hammond had history. Going back like 4 years now. But for the past 3, every time me and Joe get together, we talking about money. How much money he wants, man. Joe, I am not rich. I'm a small YouTuber who's busting his ass to make something happen. And if any success I get off of this channel, it's because it's well-deserved. Ain't nobody giving me shit. But Joe Hammond, people was willing to give you something, man. It's called an NBA career, Mr. Joe Hammond. 1971, you was drafted. 5th overall pick. Go to the Los Angeles Lakers. That didn't happen. Didn't happen. You expressed to me how Pat Riley was hating on you because you was a better player and how Pat Riley rushed you. And y'all fighting on the court. This is your story, Joe, that you shared with me. Now you want to show the same ignorance and put it towards me? You charging me? Kevin Williams got to stop you, man, from putting your hands on me? I already knew you didn't want to do the interview, Mr. Joe Hammond. I told my guest on the show at that time that I don't think it was a good idea for us to approach you because I already knew. But they insist, like, nah, man, Joe's my boy. I can make it happen. They thought the same thing I thought, Mr. Joe Hammond, that we was cool. So you see me, and you try to rush me. And I'm like, wow. It's very hurtful, man. Speaking of hurtful shit, I got to address that too. It's one thing to say to me, Nick, I don't want to do the interview. Fine. You ain't got to do the interview. I've been turned down from plenty of interviews, man. But I've never been what I think it is when I say extorted for money. Like I said, Earl the Pearl did a drop for me. He ain't asked for no money. I interviewed full force in front of Clyde Frazier restaurant, when everybody thought he was going to get Zion Williams to play for the Knicks, draft night. He ain't asked for no money. I'm at Madison Square Garden. I come across Cameron from Dipset, Harlem Finest. He ain't asked for no money. Yeah. Ashley Larry, actor, comedian. He was on my channel, Knikaveli TV. He ain't asked me for no money. Yeah, Joe, I've been grinding. I even had Darryl Strawberry on my channel, the baseball player. Guess what, Joe? He ain't asked me for no money either. And I can't forget my boy Kevin Williams, who I asked just like I asked you, Joe. Kev, if you want to be on my channel, man, I'm willing to pay you. How much you want? Kev said, nah, man, come on, Nick, man. You helping me out as I'm helping you. Kevin Williams get it, but you don't get it, Joe? And these are people who look up to you, man. Listen, hands down, man. Joe, you the greatest to ever do it, man. But I have a question. When the Lakers offered you $50,000 to play for them and you turned it down, did you just walk away or did you rush him first like you was trying to rush me? I'm your brother, Joe. I'm your little brother at that. All I wanted was some love, man, coming from you, the great one. Harlem Finest, when we talk about Knick basketball, man. I wanted to compete with other YouTube channels when we speak of the subject of basketball. That's what I'm out here doing, man. I'm out here striving to be great. And you stopping that, Joe. You stopping that. We call that blocking in today's game, Joe. You put the block on Nick. I was supposed to have an interview with Sam Worthing, basketball player, former NBA basketball player, who used to play with Kevin Williams. Joe, what do? You go around telling people how I was harassing you, calling you at your house, and how they shouldn't do no interviews with me. Fine. If you don't want to do an interview with me, fine. The interview won't take place. Now you're trying to stop me from growing as an individual. That's fucked up, Joe. That's fucked up. I don't get it. I don't get it. Then you call me a nigga. Now, we in Harlem, right? The gentrification that's coming along in Harlem, blacks don't like it, you know. Where blacks gonna go? It's bad enough we as black people don't stick together. Nigga this, nigga that coming out your mouth. Joe, that shit was hurtful, man. I didn't expect that from you. No, it hurts me to do this video, man. Because you crashed my interview. You already let it be known you ain't want to do an interview with me. But yet, you wanted to be noticed while I was doing my interview and walked right through my interview. Come on, man. Joe Hammond, man. Why? Why, man? Why? You got to assist sometimes, Joe. Yeah, when I say assist, you should know what I'm talking about. It's when you pass something along, man. Pass the baton, man. Joe, me and you had plenty of talks, man. You told me, Joe, you wanted to do something for the youth. You wanted a YouTube channel to teach the kids on how to play basketball. I say, yo, let's make that happen. We was on our way of doing all of this, Joe. Me and you, Joe, remember? But now, all that's down the drain because you see 20,000 views on a YouTube channel. And you think I'm getting all this money off of YouTube? Joe, if little old me can do this, man, imagine what you can do. Don't hate on me, Joe. Joe, get your cell phone, get a camera, and talk about your life. You know how many subscribers you will have, Joe Hammond? But you don't want to do that, Joe. You want to be bitter and mad at the fact over how your life was in the past. See, I read up on you, Joe. So I know this came out your own mouth. This is public information, Joe. How you were saying you hate to see people look at you in this light, knowing what you could have been. But I don't see you like that. I see greatness in you, Joe. I'm the underdog, Joe. Who am I to judge you, Joe? I'm just talking about how you offended me. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not adding or taking away. I'm telling you what took place between you and I. So I had to title the video, Joe Hammond try to fight Knikaveli over YouTube views. Because that's what the fuck it was. And on that interview, I hear you saying, oh, he been doing this for years, getting thousands of views. If that ain't hating, I don't know what is. Joe Hammond, mad at little old Nick? What have I done to you? So I just wanted to address that, man. I still want to do an interview with Joe. Come on, who doesn't? We got to teach these youth that's out here the greatness that happened before them, man. Yeah. They don't need to know just the drug dealing part of you, Joe. Let's show them how great you are. And how is that going to happen if you're not on no social media content? The old timers know who Joe Hammond is, but the youngsters don't have a clue who you are, how great you are. And that's all I wanted to do, man, was show love, man. And I thought you was going to reciprocate that love and give it back. But you letting money come between us, man. Everything shouldn't be about money, man. You got to give back, Joe. Give back, Joe. Give back, Joe. Give back, Joe. That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do, man. Ain't nobody going to give you nothing, man. Joe. Joe, this is out of love, man. This is no disrespect. I ain't trying to bash Joe Hammond. But I just wanted to be known that I feel that he's bitter because he's not getting the accolades he could have received if you would have went in the NBA. But that's the lifestyle you chose, Joe. You chose to be the street hustler. You chose to tell the Knicks and the Lakers, I make $200,000 a week. How you have to hide the money in your father's bank account. So what I look like going to the NBA? You told me that. You regret not going in the NBA because you're not receiving a pension. So this is why you mad now when you think someone is making success, a little bit of success, off a YouTube channel? I don't get it. I don't get it. Listen, I'm done, man. There ain't nothing more for me to say. Once again, shout out to the whole tri-state area where we speak of basketball players coming out of Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, who played at the Rucker. And Joe, man, you will always be remembered as one of the greatest, man. Always. We could never take that away from you, man. It's nothing but love coming from Nick. I'm only doing this video because I want to address you without having to face you face to face and you acting all erratic on me when I ain't done nothing to you. So, with that being said, man, I want to give a shout out to Kevin Williams once again, Earl of Pearl Monroe, Dow Strawberry, Bowlegged Lou from Full Force, Cameron, Ashley Larry, the comedian, Dapper Dan. Yeah, had him on my channel too. Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to all of them. I want to give a shout out to you too, Joe. Because, you know, you did come on my channel, man. And yes, it was a steal. $100. That's all it cost me to get you on there. But you know what, Joe? You're the only person I paid. The only person. We love you, Joe. And I mean that. We love you for the greatness that you displayed in Harlem. I heard all the stories. You busting Dr. J's ass at the Rucker Park, scoring 55. Ew, I heard it all, man. Let's not forget that Harlem need to come together, man. We can't be divided, man. We can't do that, man. We can't. So, Joe Hammond, man, you know, much love to you, man. We all have bad nights, bad days. I don't know what it is, man, but come off that, man. Come off of it. Well, it's your boy, Knikaveli. King, by the way. And you on Real Talk with Nick. And when I tell you nobody's going to stop my grind, I mean that. Nobody. Because I'm out here showing nothing but love, man. Let's keep the love going. Peace.